Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea: how to go from just reacting to whatever life throws at you to actually becoming the conscious creator of your own reality. It's a huge shift, and it all starts inside. So let's just jump right in with a big question. Are you really in the driver's seat of your life? Or does it feel more like you're just a passenger along for the ride? The way you answer that tells you a lot about what's really running the show: your conscious mind or your autopilot. For most of us, that autopilot is kind of our default setting. This is what we call the world of the ego, a state where we're just guided by these deep-seated patterns and beliefs that, honestly, we rarely ever stop to question. This is the land of pure reaction. Okay, this slide really lays it all out. It's kind of like there are two different operating systems for your life. The ego, it runs on a program of fear, separation, and a feeling of not enough. It's total survival mode. But your higher self, that deeper, more intuitive part of you, it operates from love, unity, and abundance. And that, right there, is the shift from just surviving to actually thriving. And when you're stuck in that ego-driven state, it is so easy to get trapped in what we call thought loops. You know what I'm talking about, those repetitive negative cycles where you feel like your own mind has you on a leash, reacting to the same old triggers in the same old ways, day in and day out. So, the big question is, how do we break free? Well, the journey isn't about trying to change everything out there in the world. Nope, it's about turning inward. And it all begins with the simple, powerful practice of self-observation. Basically, self-observation is this simple but, wow, incredibly profound practice of just watching your inner world. Imagine you're sitting on the bank of a river. Your thoughts and emotions are like leaves floating by on the water. You just watch them pass without jumping in and getting swept away. That's it. That's the whole game. And this right here, this is the light bulb moment that changes everything. You are not the thoughts racing through your head. You are not the emotions you feel. You are the silent, constant awareness behind all of it. Creating that little bit of space between you and your thoughts, that's where all your power is. Okay, so how do you actually do this in the heat of the moment? Well, it's a four-step process. First, just notice when you get triggered. That moment an emotion starts to flare up. Instead of immediately reacting, just pause. Second, observe the feeling without judging yourself for it. Third, get curious. Ask yourself, what's the belief that's really driving this feeling? And then from that calm, aware place, you can finally choose how you want to respond. And as you get better and better at this self-observation thing, you start to build this amazing inner toolkit. These are actual conscious practices that help you not just navigate your inner world, but actively reshape it. And here are just a few of those amazing tools we're talking about. You've got mindfulness meditation to train your focus, positive affirmations to literally reprogram your subconscious, and things like yoga and breathwork to get stuck energy moving through your body. Every single one of these is a way for you to intentionally create the inner state you actually want to be in. And the really cool thing is, this isn't just some abstract spiritual idea. It's actually backed by hard science. Your brain is literally built for this kind of change. It's called neuroplasticity. It means that every time you practice a new thought, you're physically rewiring your brain. You're weakening those old reactive pathways and building brand new conscious ones. This is exactly why things like affirmations are so incredibly powerful. See, your words, they aren't just for talking. They are creative. The language you consistently use, especially the words you say to yourself, is like programming code for your subconscious mind. It directly shapes the reality you experience. Okay, so when you consistently use these tools, it does more than just make you feel a little calmer. It actually leads to something much, much bigger, a profound revelation about the very nature of reality itself. And that revelation is this: your external reality is nothing more than a reflection of your internal state. You begin to see it everywhere, not just as an idea, but in your actual life. The world you experience is a mirror, reflecting back your most dominant thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. People sometimes call this the quantum mirror. The idea is that your inner state, your thoughts, your feelings, they're constantly broadcasting a certain energy, a certain frequency. And life, the universe, whatever you want to call it, reflects back experiences that are a perfect match. So if you want to change what you see in the mirror, you don't mess with the mirror, you change what you're projecting. And what happens when you really, truly get this? Well, the ego's biggest trick, that illusion that you're separate from everyone and everything else, it just starts to dissolve. This leads to what's known as unity consciousness. It's this deep, profound knowing that we are all interconnected. You're not just a drop in the ocean, you're the entire ocean in a drop. So this is all amazing, powerful stuff, right? But knowing it intellectually is one thing. Actually living it day to day, that's the real challenge. So how do we integrate this and really step into our power as co-creators of our lives? A really fantastic way to start is with this Japanese philosophy called Kaizen. Instead of trying to make these massive, overwhelming changes all at once, Kaizen is all about small, consistent improvements. It's these tiny positive steps that, over time, compound into profound transformation. So what does that look like in your life? Well, you start with micro goals. Goals that are so small, it's almost impossible not to do them. You practice being fully present in simple daily tasks. You start to see any so-called failure not as an end, but as a stepping stone. And this one is so important. You consistently celebrate your progress, no matter how small. So really, it all boils down to a simple daily practice. Every single day, you set a clear intention. You consciously choose what you're going to focus on. You practice gratitude to get into that feeling of abundance. You take one small inspired action. And then you just watch. You observe how the reflection in your reality starts to shift. In the end, this whole journey, from reactor to creator, it's about taking the pen back. By mastering your inner world, by observing your thoughts instead of letting them run you, you become the author of your own story. So the only real question left is, what are you going to write next?